Good morning. This Wednesday, May 14th meeting of the Senate Finance Committee will come to order. We have one bill on the agenda. It's House File 3228 from Senator McEwen. This is the Workers' Comp Advisory Council recommendations adoption. And before we have you begin, Senator McEwen, I'll ask Senator Friends to move that the title and the contents of House File 3228 be stricken and replaced with the title and contents of Senate File 3407. Senator Friends moves that, and that's simply because the House bill is over here, but we're going to keep the Senate language. And on that motion, any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. Senator McEwen, on the bill.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. As many of you know, the Workers' Compensation Advisory Council is a body with 12 voting members, 6 representing organized labor and 6 representing Minnesota business. The council addresses issues and recommends legislation pertaining to workers' compensation. The council only adopts recommendations by a majority vote of employer representatives and employee representatives on a given proposal. The language that has just been amended into the bill today was passed unanimously by the council. So the bill today represents really hard work on the part of the members of this council to hash out differences and come to a true consensus and agreement between all of them. So I ask for your support, and I believe we're here because there may be just a couple little parts that have to do with finance.
Okay, thank you, Senator McEwen. Ms. Bursch, do you want to come and go through real quickly fiscal implications? Welcome to the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. My name is Megan Bursch, and I'm the fiscal analyst supporting the Labor Committee. The fiscal note for Senate File 3407 was completed by the Departments of Labor and Industry, Commerce, and Human Services, and estimates a net fiscal impact of $50,000 in new general fund revenue per biennium. For DLI, the bill requires an update to their workers' compensation insurance verification website, and may also result in a small increase in calls and questions related to workers' compensation insurance. But the department reported that those costs can be absorbed within their existing staffing and resources. For commerce, the bill adds an application and approval process for owner-controlled and contractor-controlled insurance programs. The department reported that they can review and approve those applications within their existing staffing levels, so there are no new costs associated with that work. But there is a required filing fee of $2,500 per application, and Commerce assumes that 10 applications will be submitted annually, generating $25,000 in new general fund revenue per year or $50,000 per biennium. And finally, for DHS, the bill makes technical changes to describe direct support services, but doesn't impact the work of the department or have a net fiscal impact. So again, that net fiscal impact is $50,000 total in new general fund revenue per biennium generated from that required filing fee.
Thank you. Is there questions from the committee for Ms. Bursch? Is there a discussion of the bill? Senator Pratt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Senator McEwen, what happens if we miss the 60-day? Is it automatically approved, or is it, what happens at that point?
Welcome to the committee.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Good morning.
Thank you for the question. I'm phoning a friend here.
Good morning. Sarah Gillespie, Senior Associate Counsel at the Department of Commerce. Senator, thank you for your question. So the 60 days doesn't start running until the department has received a completed application. So that's the language, and so the 60 days wouldn't start running until that completed application is received.
Senator Pratt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. But I think I like the concept. Right, and I appreciate that you guys are putting that on. I'm just wondering what happens if we get to the 60 days. Is then the application automatically approved once that clock starts ticking, or how are we holding ourselves accountable?
So Again, I think the idea is that we have 60 days to approve or disapprove. Typically, I think that becomes a legal question of what would happen if, for whatever reason, the department allowed the 60 days to run. But again, the department would act within its statutory obligations to approve or disapprove within 60 days. But it may go beyond the 60 days in that if we don't receive a complete application, it may go beyond the 60 days for that reason.
Senator Pratt, continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I read the language where it had to be a completed application. I was just, again, I'm not sure I understand how we are holding ourselves accountable to that 60 days. What is the penalty for going 63, 65, 90 days?
Ms. Gillespie.
Yeah, currently in the language, there is no penalty, so the department would have to act within 60 days. I don't want to opine on what legally could happen because, one, I don't have the authority to bind my department on a particular legal position. But the language as it sits, we have 60 days within receipt of a completed application to approve or disapprove. There are other statutory provisions that the department is subject to that provide similar timelines that are not specific as to what happens if the application or matter before the department is not approved.
Senator Pratt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And look, I appreciate the language. I think it's a step in the right direction. We hold others accountable when they miss deadlines, and I would like to see the department have a stronger answer. And maybe by the time this gets to the floor, we can have some clarity on what happens once we hit that 60 days of getting a completed application, because I want the department to be held as accountable as we hold the applicants.
Ms. Gillespie, maybe you can look at that and get to Senator McEwen before the bill gets to the floor. Is there further discussion? If not, Senator Friends moves that House File 3228 as amended be recommended to pass. On that motion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. That's the end of the business for today. We still anticipate hearing the capital investment and pension bills, but those, as you know, often come together in relatively short order. And if so, we will keep an eye out for scheduling emails from Elspeth, and we'll let you know when and if we're going to be meeting again. And if there being no further business, this committee is adjourned.